we're sitting down tonight with the cast of Black Nativity. Can someone give us a rundown of what Black Nativity is about?
I guess I could. So basically, Black Nativity is like the story of Jesus, but it's really good how we go into detail with his struggles in, for instance, going like in the end when Joseph and Mary like struggle to do that, and it's nice how the music takes part in helping us through that journey, showing us the ups and downs, and it's basically just, and it's from the African American perspective, the Black perspective, which is also great, and so yes, that is Black Nativity.
Now that we have a little overview of what the production is all about, how about we introduce ourselves? Yeah. Let's start on this end.
Hi, I'm Lene Wilkinson, and I am an angel.
Hi, I'm Justin Thompson, and I am a shepherd.
Hi, I'm Christian Jones, and I'm an angel.
Hi, I'm Kennedy Davenport, and I'm an angel as well.
And as you know, I'm Sean Ray. So let's dive into some questions about the show. So, how significant is this production? I mean, specifically with the atmosphere now here.
So interesting and so heartwarming that everyone can relate, whether you are religious or whether you're not. It's just that type of show, and I feel like unities and togetherness and all that is like really what this community needs from my perspective. So yeah.
When I listen to the story, I feel like it gives a sense of peace and a sense of joy, knowing that with everything that's going on, we still have a Savior. He went through his struggles and his trials just trying to get here on earth. But we as human beings living now, today, we have struggles as well. But to know that we have a Savior, come on, son.
Come on.
Oh, yes.
May have to take up a collection after this. Anybody else want to chime in? Kennedy?
Well, this story, you see it on script and paper, but I think we skip over the fact that this is real. It's honestly everything in here, on that paper is real. And our crime rate is so high, and we tend to skip over the positivity in our city. And just to have a theater company who does things like this and does shows that shows positivity, bring positivity, like you said, unity. I think it's really great that could bring all people, of all races, all ages to come, see this show and how things may seem bad, but in the end it works for good.
What about you, Christian?
I would say I like the show because, as everybody stated, the unity, and it shows family and how this community, we go through a lot, and like she said, we skip over the positive stuff. So to have a theater company that allows African Americans to get on the stage and show positive things and not always the negative stuff that that's what most people see on the news is we always doing this, but they're not showing when we're doing it. Right. So it's good for people to come out and see this show because it's going to give a new light to our community as a whole, because it can be one person that can make a change. So you have a whole stage full of young, middle-aged, seasoned, because we don't call them old.
That's right.
Seasoned. And you get to see us as a family and as a unit, as one unit, and we get on the stage and do this production for a community that needs love, peace, joy, cry. Because sometimes you just need to cry. Sometimes you need to release things. And a lot of times in our community, we hold on to things. So this will be a show where you can come and, like they say, let your hair down. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to shout, shout. Don't sleep. Stand up on your feet before you sleep.
So another question we have is, what do you feel is the most exciting part about participating in a story so well known? Like we were talking about earlier, it doesn't matter if you're Christian. Everyone knows the story of Jesus. So how important is that to be a part of this story?
It's so relatable. Like, I mean, everyone has hardships. Like, piggybacking on what she was saying earlier, everyone has hardships. Everyone can identify with this story. And it's like, it's just universal, and its message is just like, you know.
It's a beautiful story.
It's pretty exciting seeing other people that look like me. You know, we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different talents. It's even fun that we get you know, we're singers, but it's fun that we get to do a little dancing, a little 1, 2.
Just a little.
I wish it was a little dance.
But it's exciting, you know, being able to be a part, everybody having different things and being able to put into one whole big production and, you know, showcasing our talent. And, yeah.
Because we have a lot of talented
Yes.
people
Indeed.
in this, and when you come to see the show, which you will come to see the show,
Yes.
you're gonna definitely witness some of that talent.
You will.
Can I also add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's exciting to be able to do this with family, because one thing about New Venture is that we are not just castmates, we're not just a production staff, we are a family, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to do that, and I think it allows us to perform and minister the story in a different way because we're up here with family.
Right. One of the things that I noticed when watching you all before rehearsals even began was something that was fairly new to New Venture, and with the environment, as we talked about earlier, in the communities, with kids being bullied. There was a no bullying policy that you all had to agree to sign in order to participate in the show.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really, really like wow. Like I
Right.
can't believe that this company is taking out the time to make sure that everyone feels welcome,
Right.
everyone feels comfortable, and you can feel safe in being just
Right.
yourself, and you're here to perform and do
And
the
you know,
production.
For me, in a positive way of thinking about it, I didn't feel like it was necessary because we all are family. However, I understand why it was done.
Right.
So hopefully in the future it won't be necessary because everybody understands that we're family.
Yes.
And we love each other.
Yes, I definitely feel the love. So,
I would say all the stories for any show I've been in was important, but this story is, in my perspective, is more important because I get to tell the story of the birth of Jesus, which is a story that most people grew up hearing in the church from birth all the way up, and you heard it different ways, whether you heard it in an urban way, whether you heard it from the Bible, either way it go, you heard it. And so being able to be on the stage and to help tell this story, because that's what we're doing, we're helping telling the story, and like Lene said, minister the story to people, because any word to somebody is ministering. So no matter whether it's through song or dance, we are able to touch somebody. So this particular show, I feel like touch individuals in a different way, other than, yeah, most shows they come and they laugh and they, you know, they have a good time, but I think this show, the songs have a message, the dance have a message, the script has a message, and then if you know the message within itself, you're gonna automatically like the show. So that's what I think. That's why, you know, I think that show is more important in my perspective to me than any other show I've done.
does anybody else want to share how they feel about it?
I feel like around this time, this show just stands out because, you know, it's like Christmas. You know, people are kind of like getting in the spirit. People are, you know, the vibe with coming from Black Nativity rehearsals, and I've been doing Black Nativity since we first did it in 2016. Was it 2016 we did?
Yeah.
Something around that time.
Yeah.
And the vibe is just electrifying. Like, you play around, like, it's just a great atmosphere. And I feel like you don't get that with other shows. Like, it's good, but it's not like, this is next level.
And it takes you on an emotional journey. You know, throughout the story, it'll take you on the highs and the lows. And as he stated before, it's a relatable story. So for anyone that's sitting out there, or even if you're on the stage or as part of the production staff or whatever your role may be, for you to be able to relate, in my personal opinion, for me to be able to relate to any part of the story is exciting to me. It allows me to reflect on myself and see myself.
So now with the production of this size, I know there has to be some challenges, especially when it comes to schedules. So how is being a part of this production change your daily flow?
Well, for me, I don't get off until 7 o'clock. Well, 7:01 to be exact. So, this is the first production since I've been with New Venture that I am late for every day. I have never done a production I had to be late. And at first, I was not going to do the production, but, you know, I was like, well, it's an hour. You know, hopefully they'll be okay with that. So I let them know up ahead of time that I would be late. So, but that's really the biggest thing, because I really think, like, the schedule of me having to work the way I work, I love my job, but I wish I would get up at 5. But yeah, that's really the biggest schedule change really that I have.
So what about my school is here? Like how does this?
So like I'm a procrastinator, and so like this show actually forces me to like really focus on doing my work beforehand, before I like because I do feel like although I don't live up to it as much as I would like to, I do feel like you have to get schoolwork out first, and so this is actually to me helping me do that. I like being busy.
To give you some structure, some discipline.
Yes.
That's good. What I know full time. Christian said he's
Honey. 8 to 5, 1 hour break, rehearsals from 6 to 9. And I wonder how I do it. It's only by the grace of God that it gets done.
won't he do it? But
That
it's
and
for
coffee.
him. And
And
coffee.
coffee.
I'm so glad he created all things, including the coffee beans. Yes, Lord.
So we're gonna take it a little light now, because we got the heavy questions out of the way. We know the importance of this story. Now I want to talk about how performing is for you all. Like, what's the most challenging part about being in the production as far as vocals and the movement that we talked about earlier? If you have any lines with your, learning your script, making sure that you're meeting all your cues. Like, what's been challenging so far?
For me, I would say the vocals. I've always been a comfortable singer, and so
Lazy is what you want to say? Tell the truth,
comfortable.
shame the devil.
I've always been very comfortable, but this show allows me to actually play around with my range, and sometimes it feels like a struggle until I do it a couple of times, and then it becomes easier. So, and Marcus is great because he allows you to do it, and he'll let you know if you can't. But when he know you can, he's gonna look at you like you can do it because I've heard you do it before. So I know you can do it, but you're not used to just doing it flat out because I'm comfortable. Like if I was singing all the comfortable notes in the 3-part harmony, if it was wrong.
Give me C all day, all day long.
Just give me a comfortable note. I'm a singer.
Right.
What about you, Kenny?
Same for me with the singing. I am an alto, so I don't really go for the higher notes.
Lazy soprano is what they call it.
Yeah.
Also.
So the song Mary's Lullaby has been a challenge for me, and I'm just like, why? At first I questioned why was I picked for this song? Why wasn't a soprano picked for this song? And like practicing it over and over, I've noticed that I can do it. I just have to understand that I have to want it for myself, just like everybody else expects me to. And practicing it, he made me feel comfortable with it, and it clicked to me like he sees it in me. I have to see it in myself, and it's preparing me for my future as well. So and also singing the songs, having to learn these parts is sometimes confusing. You're like, oh my God, you're doing this wrong. But after practicing so much, you get used to it. Going home, listen to it because I listen to it. It's in the CD player right now. But yeah, singing has really been changing up for me since we started.
That's good, pushing you to your limits. That's good.
The key to this, you have to conserve your voice. I know I struggle with that, but you have to do that on top of. You just have to bring your A game for this particular show. Like you cannot, like in other productions, I could breeze through, not really, kind of pay attention. But with this show, you have to know, where
Told
this
herself.
where this
Red
pitch
watches.
changes and where like you just have to bring your A game, and that's I love it because it challenges me as a performer and like.
Oh, my biggest challenge is being able to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. So for me to have to sing and move at the same time. Yeah,
No shame. No.
None at all. It's a little challenging, but you know what? There's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
Hey,
Come
we're
on.
gonna push through it, make it
Minister
happen.
Lene.
Come on.
I'm coming to her church over.
Listen, I told you we're gonna pick up like a list.
I'll give you mine.
So take a moment and think about this after I state this question, because I really want you all to kind of internalize this and really think about it. Being as that you all have been in several productions. What if you weren't able to perform anymore? What would you do instead? How would you fill that void?
I would be more involved at my church if I wasn't able to perform anymore as far as in singing, dancing, anything like that. I'll just be more involved at church, actually. That's really one of my goals, is to be more involved. So actually, that'll fill my void, work around the church, do whatever that needs to be done, because the hours that I spend here, I won't be able to do it, so I can spend it over there.
Lene?
I possibly would have a brief moment of insanity and would try my best to bring myself back together. And I'm very serious about that because singing is definitely my passion. But to not be able to do that, to not be able to bless people with the gifts that God has given me, I'd have to tap into some other gifts and share those. Yeah.
Justin?
I mean, yeah, performing for me is like breathing. I need it to like I can't like I'm a dramatic person in general, so like losing that would be like harsh. But if it were to leave the community like South Baton Rouge, which is near and dear to me because that's where all my family grew up. But like I would
Same for me. Singing, performing since I was 3 years old. That's been like my life. And to think about a question is, what is this one? It may seem like a breeze to others, but to me, it's just like that's like taking everything out of me. But if I could not perform anymore, out of the things, I would focus more on my writing. I do like to do poetry, do a little spoken word, do some of that. And if I can't do it, someone else can, even if it has to be published and brought to someone else. And I also want to work towards my career being a social psychologist, working with people, working with children, and working with the mental state of mind.
Listen, you guys have been awesome. I cannot wait for everyone to come and check out the cast of Black Nativity. The show opens when, Justin?
December 13th through the 15th at LSU Shaver Theater.
Yes.
We hope to see you all there. Thank you for tuning in to Adventure, and see you next time.
Bye.